Of ability. We are here every Saturday and the early afternoon here, anytime between like around 1 and 3 on Central Time. World of Ability. So we are all things ability. Whether you have a disability or you don't have a disability, we are all enjoying life here together on this gorgeous planet. As you see this beautiful background I got here, that we are all here and doing the best we can in all the ways we can. And we like to celebrate that, celebrate the ability in all of us, right? We're all different. We all have different things going on in our world. We all have different strengths, different weaknesses, all those things. We focus more on, what can we do? Because that is what it's all about, right? We all have different things that we are good at and can share with the world. There are lots and lots of things that we've been culminating here over this past year. And we do have some updates. We have some fun things to share. We've got a lot, actually, because today, let's see, it is December 16th, 2023. So we're right smack in the middle of the holiday season here, right? Everybody is uh has different holiday plans, I'm sure. Oh, I know us personally, we celebrate Thanksgiving being here in the States, and coming up soon here, we will be celebrating Christmas. I know others celebrate other holidays. New Year's is right around the corner. So it is a time that I know with all the things we do with Project Die Hard, Brian Gibson, who is the founder of Project Die Hard, has been just, I can hear it ringing in my ear. Check your vet. He's been saying it over and over. Check your vet. And what does that mean? Check in with the guys and gals that you know that are veterans. Take a moment and see how they're doing. I hate to say it, but it's a statistic. It's amongst all the statistics that I hate to acknowledge even are real. This is one of them. Suicide among veterans is a real problem, like an unbelievable problem. And another fact is this thing called a holiday spike. During the holiday season here, November, December, January, there's an uptick in the veterans that and beyond, but the stats that I'm familiar with are dealing with the veteran community, that there is uh there, there are more people losing their life to suicide at this time of year than any other time of year. Unbelievable, right? It's one of these things. Again, I struggle constantly to wrap my mind around this concept that there's that big of an issue. There really is. I mean, obviously it doesn't affect every vet, right? Some guys are fine, some guys aren't. You don't know necessarily who is and who isn't. You got to take a moment and check in, see how they're doing. One thing that was shared with me recently, that there are folks that are in position to be a resource for other veterans, right? There are people that is their job, that is what they do. They are a hub for information. If there's a guy who needs something, they're the resource person to help get them what they need. What Project Die Hard is very similar in the fact that they are a place to go. Like they physically can go there. They can call, they can do whatever. This is also something that Project Die Hard does. But I'm telling you, I'm first, well, I should say secondhand. I have been told directly from a person who knows three people that actually their job, their role was as a resource. I don't know if it was resource officer, resource person. I'm not sure exactly title wise, but they were the resource person for other vets to go to when they needed anything, needed something, need a referral, whatever that was. They're the guys who knew, and I'm saying guys generically, guys, gals, I don't know who it was, but they're the ones who could point you in the right direction to get the help you needed, whatever that might be. Three of them in the last few weeks, just from ones that we are aware of, have lost their own personal battle with this whole thing of losing hope, and they've lost their life to suicide. Three. And these are, again, people who knew or should know how to reach out and where to reach out and helped others do that. So just because you think somebody's in a good spot, check in anyway. take a moment and just check in. Hey, how you doing? Whatever it is. Sometimes that's all it takes is just somebody reaching out at that moment that if the spirit moves you to send somebody a text, to pick up that phone and give them a call, reach out. There's a reason you're getting that nudge of, hey, I should check in and see how they're doing. Follow that nudge and actually do it, okay? Because you might be surprised that that was exactly what they needed at that time. And you'll never know if you don't bother. You might be sad you didn't bother down the road. So Project Die Hard, they are all about providing hope to veterans. They are a facility that is now, their doors are open. They have passed all their inspections. They can have meetings and events at their location in Makanda, Illinois. That is something that is new news. That is since Thanksgiving that has come to fruition now that their doors are open. So, what does that mean? What does that mean for you? That means that you are able to pass that word on. People that are local there that are looking for a meeting place, a facility where they can host a meeting, where they can bring whatever it is. That is a location that is available now. They are open. What else is going on there? The second Saturday of the month, every month, so 12 times a year, second Saturday of the month, they have time set aside for people to go, literally go there, volunteer, help them out. What are they doing right now? They are trying to get the rest of that facility ready to go so that they can actually have vets living there, whether it's a day, a week, a month, up to a year. They need the facility to be remodeled to get to that point where they have all the things in place that they need so that that can be a reality. They will have enough room for, actually, I'm forgetting the exact number, if it's 10 vets or 12, 10 or 12 individuals plus 2 families that will be able to stay there. But that part's not ready to go yet. They're still working on it and they need help physically. They're tearing down walls. They're putting in plumbing. They're having to take out part of cement floors in order for that plumbing to be put in. They need materials, they need expertise, they need hands to be able to make this happen. I know I recently was hearing them saying they were doing some demolition in some areas, to whether it was taking walls down, or I don't even know what all the pieces are. You can guess as well as I can, as you're looking at this 10,000 square foot building that is going to be that, at least part of it be that living quarters. It needs to be in shape for that to be a reality. And that takes time, it takes effort, it takes materials, all those things. And you can help if you're able to be somewhere nearby that you are close enough by where even if you could make a weekend of it, drive down, get a couple buddies, drive down there, go spend the day making a difference, and then go back home. If you are not one that wants to actually physically do something, they could use donations. That stuff costs money. So this is a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 organization. They only can operate and survive because of donations. So if you know a grant writer, if you know somebody with deep pockets that can make a real big difference in a big hurry, if you're someone who could, one of the big things that they do, that $22 a month. Are you somebody who can actually sign up and donate $22 a month? That's less than like your family going out for a meal some night. That's like a round of drinks, right? Not even. If you could be somebody who could do that once a month and support their mission, do you understand the difference that would make? So please seriously consider what can you do, because teamwork makes the dream work. That is also a big saying from Brian himself. The two biggest things I hear repetitively in my head when I think of Brian is teamwork makes the dream work and check your vet. So that is our Project Die Hard update for today. Updates are always available though. Monday nights we have PDH, Project Die Hard, PDH Mission Monday updates. So that is live broadcasting as well, where we are giving an update from Brian himself. And then we also end up bringing in a couple of guests that are able to speak to what they can offer and how they are of service to Project Die Hard, to vets, to all the things. So check that out Monday nights at 6:30 Central, 6:30 p.m. We are live on we're in I was going to say Zoom. We're not in Zoom like this. We actually utilize another platform. So we actually utilize Restream, and we are sending that out on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and all the different places that we can with our different partners along the way. And it's exciting. We've met, oh my goodness, the support and the impact that people make along the way is amazing. We are blessed to have the partners that we have with that group, and we're looking for what can we do to expand what's happening there, because it takes people. So whatever you can do to pitch in, whether it's an idea, whether it's a phone call you can make somewhere. Somebody recently had had some plumbing supplies that they no longer needed. They were just excess, and they're trying to figure out what can they do with them, and said, "Hey, can you guys use this stuff?" Yes, they can. That's exactly what they need. So maybe you know somebody who might be in a similar scenario. It's coming up at the end of the year here. People are looking for a tax write-off. If there's a business that has a way to do that kind of thing, now's a great time to think about that. So just planting that seed so that folks can take that seriously. And what can you do? We're always looking for, hey, how can people help me? No, how can you help in this situation? Is there one thing you can do? It could take you 5 minutes. It could take you 3 seconds. If you're following them on Facebook and you see a post on there, can you share it to your page? Can you share it on your wall? Let people know that that organization is here and is doing good work. So it's really easy to make a difference and to share, and it doesn't take much effort. You can make a difference. So that's our Project I Heart update for today. I also want to make a comment about Happy Neighborhood Project. That is another organization that Kurt and I have been involved in for a long time. Kurt longer than I have, and we are part of the co-host team actually for one of the meetings that takes place. We're part of the North US group. So what does that mean? All the different meetings that take place across the week. I'm not even sure the exact number right now, 25-ish meetings that take place every week at the same time. So ours being North US, we are on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock Central. So how do you find out how to get on there? happyneighborhoodproject.com. There's a place on there where you can sign up. You can find out when all the meetings are when you go there. The best thing is to become a co-op member, which is free, and then you've got your own little back office area, and you can sign up so you can get the link, basically, right? Sign up for the meeting so that the link gets sent to you. Click on the link and you're in the meeting. It's super, super easy. They make it as simple as possible. That is the best way to do it. And guess what? They have reached 4,700 members of that co-op. It's amazing how much it's grown. There is a goal to hit 10,000 in the very near future. So there are at 4,700 officially at this point. And what does that mean for you? That means you've got a massive group of people here across the world that you can meet, that you can be introduced to, that you can introduce yourself to, and you can make connections with and do business potentially with them yourself, be able to refer business to others, ask people to follow your group, follow your whatever it is that you're doing, to subscribe to. It is a massive, wonderful group of people. And we actually know quite a few at this point and have grown our networks by hundreds and actually by thousands of people since we first got involved, 3 years ago, I believe, at this point. And they are also being very respectful of this being holiday season, and that people are not necessarily as available because of all the family plans and travels and all that. So for this upcoming week, this week before Christmas and the week between Christmas and New Year's, they're taking a break from all the individual meetings with the exception of one. So they do have every Friday at 1 o'clock Central is the worldwide group. So most of the groups are regional. You're welcome to attend any of them. You want to attend one in Australia? You can. There's no exclusion on that. However, they do make the one on Fridays that it has been going for a long time. 1 o'clock Central, the worldwide HMP meeting that is going to continue even through the holidays here. So this Friday, the next Friday, it's going to just keep going. The other individual meetings that are normally taking place, those are just taking a brief break until January 3rd. They will be back up and running. So Wednesday, January 3rd, the rest of those meetings will reopen. But until then, you can still connect with people. And you know what? Since that's the only meeting during the week, there's going to be a lot of people on there. So if you are able to connect, you will be amazed at how many people you will meet before the year's up. So happy neighborhood project. We really do appreciate the good work that's going on there. We have made some amazing friends within that group. And if it wasn't for that organization, there's no way we would have met them. So that is out there. Actually, you've met a lot of those people. If you are a follower of World of Ability, the guests that we've had on here, many of them are people we met from Happy Neighborhood Project. So that is a great way to meet people and to be able to share what you do and make a big impact. I love it. So let's see here. That was my big thing. I just want to make sure everybody knows, just Fridays, the next 2 weeks. I have the privilege of introducing a guy who does not need an introduction. We've got Kurt here. Oh, and I'm actually seeing we've got a friend joining us as well. Barbara is joining us. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to go ahead and bring you in and have you come on in and say hello. How are you?
Hi, you always make me feel so welcome. Thank you so much.
You are always welcome here. So what's going on in the world of Barbara today?
Oh, I got to hear an amazing lecture this morning where these two young women, one's a mom, and I lost my face somehow. And they were talking about this concept of well, it has to do with Buddhism some, but this concept of bringing out our potential by believing in it. And they were so encouraging, by people believing in what you're capable of and what you can do, and watching things changing by taking on that attitude rather than, I can't do this, I'm no good, I'm too weak, this always happens to me. Letting all those thoughts go and bringing in the idea that, we can be happy and we can make good things happen for ourselves. And this one girl, she came to the United States as a child from Vietnam with the idea she was going to get to the United States, she was going to get an education, and then she was going to go back and help the people in her country. And she was having trouble, getting anyone that wanted to support her. And when this person was trying to introduce her to faith, it just made her mad, because he would wake up and he would start praying, and she'd like, what, don't you want coffee? Like, what about having coffee first, right? And he just believed that what he was doing was significant. And so she started trying it, and she started trying to know, what it is to believe in herself. And she's talking about now she's getting her PhD. Her boss, who turned her down like 4 times about sponsoring her to stay in the United States, is now her sponsor. She and Pepe have gotten married. They have a beautiful child. I was just, then Pilar was talking about how she was always late. She couldn't stop, and she was losing jobs. She lost jobs twice, and she loved dancing and she loves working with children, but she was trying to sell insurance, whatever she could do. And she lost that job, and she finally went to get guidance about it. And, the same concept of, don't stop believing in yourself and in your dreams. And now she's getting to teach dance to children. And she's still not perfect. She's still not perfect about time, but she has a boss now that like understands and is encouraging her and believes in her. And she's also getting to work. I think it's autistic children she's working with besides the children that she's teaching dance. So that was so encouraging. And it's like, okay, how do we understand what they're talking about? How to tap into that potential to become more than you think you can be and to get the support in the world and to make dreams come true. So I'm here to keep on looking for guidance and questioning, but I know I'm going to go see my grandchildren next Wednesday and determined to get there and stay strong and healthy for them and, love them and encourage my daughter and make a difference in the world. To know that I can make a difference in seeing my children happy. I know that love is important, right?
That's awesome. I love it. And that is one thing that I look forward to, even with the holiday time, that's kind of our excuse to just slow down for a moment and get together and be with family. Family, friends, family, as one friend calls calls our group, because that taking that time together is so important. I love that you're able to do that.
Mhm. I feel that's what makes people strong. I feel that's my strength came from that, from family getting together and feeling, you're part of something that's loving and it's beautiful. And even when your family passes, you still, believe that, oh, that love is still you and, it's still there with you to pass it on.
Yeah, very much so. Oh, I love that. Well, I should just double check. What is your timeline like here? Because I know I've got a couple questions for Kurt, but I know I value your time here too, and I want to make sure to offer you as much as I can here and involve you in the conversation. So, are you going to be here for a little bit?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, I can.
I would love
My
that.
face might be coming in and out, but I'm here.
It's all good. Because there's an organization that Kurt's been working with that I have not even gotten caught up with yet on what that all is. And I was going to ask him on here to tell us more about Spirits of the Games, or Spirit of the Game. Is that plural or is it singular? I'm not even, now that I said it out loud, I'm not sure. So I need to learn more and find out what exactly this is. And I'm thinking this might be something that's of interest to you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Kurt in and ask, welcome. How you doing, Kurt?
Doing good. Thank you very much.
So I know we've been talking and I've been hearing a lot about Spirit of the Games, but I have not gotten the details enough to actually wrap my head around what is this group? I know it is worldwide. I know I believe there's different chapters around the world, but tell me what exactly is it? What are you, and what are you doing specifically with them? And what is this organization?
All right. So, provided the name, uh, let me take you to the game that the name comes from.
Okay.
So here we go. What I'm bringing up here is when it comes through for, there it is. Let's take a look at this. Ultimate for Peace and Development, 10 million discs. So 10 million discs, the global leaders ultimate for peace and development. So it looks like we're in the Frisbee community, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
Right. So this is where, like, when you say is it singular or plural, right now this, game of, let's just refer to like maybe disc golf to think of the game. So
Okay.
there's a lot of things here that can kind of give you backgrounds. This is what I'm posing for background information so that we can start to make sense of the name.
Okay.
So now that being a given, and then seeing how this is seemingly taking us to humanitarian work and a great platform for helping nonprofits. And now when we're on spiritofthegame.org, Spirit of the Game Foundation, we can see here that right in the middle is volunteer. So that's where we're at right now. Is we have many years in the making for volunteers coming together, and with this group and this foundation, to bring monies into the foundation and the nonprofit, and for NGO work, non-governmental organizations, again, bring us back to nonprofits. We've got a donate button here and engage and updates. And let's take a look at the mission. Our mission is to inspire and empower individuals and organizations to take personal accountability for their impact on the world. We pursue this mission through 4 main pillars: an international NGO network of national and local chapters, an impact coaching and consulting coalition working with corporations, entrepreneurs, universities, schools, and individuals, the Impactful Women's Network and the Impactful Business Network, with other impactful networks in the works. A global social movement based on a new definition of winning, Spirit of the Game, with the founding principles of the Spirit of the Game as the cornerstone of the world's first crowdsourced life philosophy. Be personally accountable. Be continuously introspective. Be actively non-judgmental. Unpack conflicts calmly. Respect the spirit of the rules. So with this, trying to think if I've got it handy. I would like to show you Mighty Networks, but I have to think it the easiest way. Let's see, we got Mighty Cause for Project Die Hard. Mighty Networks, we got the World Referral Groups. Here, let me do this. We referred to the Impactful Women's Network. So TIWN for the Impactful Women's Network. So through this, we've got the opportunity for membership. And then here it says, join the TIWM community platform. So Sue, are you doing okay on your timing? I saw a notifier about saying hi to somebody. Are you good on time?
We're going to have somebody popping by here sometime in the next hour, so I may have to step away. We'll see. It'll be brief.
Yeah, keep us posted so I know what's going on. If
you'll hear the dog alarm go off, so no worries. That's what I'm counting on.
Yeah, so this is powered by Mighty Networks. So this creates a platform for us that, like it said, the personal accountability. We can go through all of these aspects on this online platform, and we can take a look at the membership. So it creates a way to engage with the networks and, as they say, to grow together. So basically, let's check in and let's see, having done that, Sue, does that suffice for you as an explanation? Does it bring comments, questions, things that you need clarified? What do you think?
So if somebody just heard that, they know that this exists, what would they expect if they were to say, hey, this sounds interesting, I want to know more, or I want to participate? So I guess I'm still, and I, granted, I got distracted for just a moment there. I'm so sorry, because I'm trying to monitor somebody who may be stopping by shortly. They, if somebody is interested in knowing more or possibly participating, what would that look like for as things move forward? It's like I saw people can put their info in there. How does that get utilized? What would they, what would it look like if they said, hey, I maybe want to do something with this?
Well, it all starts with a snapshot of what are you doing
Hmm.
and what do you hope to do, and then to see how this group or anybody in the group um, might be able to help. Is your person here? I'm hearing some, or is that just
I'm not that I'm aware of, maybe.
all right? So basically, you know, there's an opportunity to see how our group or network might be able to help get you into the conversations, or when we get the foundation increasing its budgets, it might be that we're working together from a common fund that might be able to be used to help your project, stuff like that. So it's a matter of how are we being impactful? Is it through green initiatives? Is it through our buying decisions? In terms of in the business world, there's something called corporate social responsibility.
Hmm.
So there's a chance for a business to get a good scorecard or show their evidence of how they are growing their business, they're making the profits they need to make, and at the same time they're doing something good for the world out in the marketplace and giving back, type of thing. A lot of corporations have a flagship charity they support, stuff like that. So we all have a chance to evaluate if a business and its ownership and its board, or everybody involved in steering that company, if they are to our liking, being good stewards of their resources, or if they're being selfish and irresponsible, polluting the air, polluting our water, being wasteful, not packaging in recyclable packages. There's all sorts of opportunities. When you talk about inclusive hiring and stuff like this, there's a lot of stuff for our humanitarian interests that business people and companies, and when we consume our products, like right here, I have a Kleenex box. So basically, I have nothing prepared for this, but this product puffs. We can go on here and take a look at who produces this, and like this box, is it recyclable? Are the Kleenex, are they recyclable? Stuff like that, because we're using trees, aren't we, when we have those products? So, kind of what are we doing, and like what are their hiring practices? Do they have a diverse staff, a diverse board of directors? Do they, kind of resemble the future that we want to see? Seeing we all in our buying decisions and our participation and being a part of the metrics, like with YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn, a lot of people are hopping off some of these platforms because they don't like what the corporations are doing, and a little bit of the control and the way it flows into access to the government, and just kind of how it all works with their algorithms and stuff like that. So for many reasons, people are shifting where they align to and where they're putting their energy and their time, so that it's the idea of what you give your attention to will grow.
Hmm.
So that's what this is all about, is making an impact to say, let's be stewards of the world we want to see for our future, for generations to come. And let's start that now by putting our resources, our time, our energy, and things that people see us doing, be the example, to lead, for where we see the world in, say, 100 years, beyond our time.
Hmm.
Kind of what are we doing to build a legacy? And let's do all this interactive stuff in accordance to that. And let's be accountable to our own decisions and our own practices.
Okay. So, so Barbara, I'm kind of curious, did this bring any questions to your mind with what you've heard? Have you heard of this before?
No. Well, I'm wondering, I mean, are you just asking people individually to be so conscientious about what they buy, or I don't know if there's people people getting paid for paying attention to what businesses are doing and letting other people know. I'm not really sure what's being presented. So yeah, I do have questions. Thank you.
Well, all of your ideas and questions are right into the motivations around having this organization. Because, we believe that if we, as 8 billion people on the planet, show that this is what we need to do with our resources and our purchases, that to us, I mean, there's maybe some of it going on now where we can maybe research and provide exhibits of this going on now, but with whatever is going on now, it definitely is what we are fueling. We are influencing to totally grow this because we see the world as having a lot of interest by humans to have a shift from what is going on now in terms of distribution of food and clothes and basics, and with third world countries. If you just take Africa, you look at Africa in terms of, look at our humanitarian history, with Africa, and really the position Africa is in the world is at the antithesis of what we would think it should be, because Africa is at the core of where we all come from, right? If you think of the plate tectonics, and you look at the history about how our continents got to be the way they're separated out in our oceans and everything, and you look at Africa being at the center of that, you would think the core of all resources and basically luxuries and stuff like that would be in Africa. But what's the history? The history is all the colonists and all the imperialists, went into Africa and stripped Africa of so much. And there's been a lot of talk in the last century about, rainforests and stuff like that, deforestation, and such like this. So to me, if we can use the power of Zoom and our social media and our resources and our communicating and come together, like Walt Disney, got us singing, "It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world." So if we can come together, that we as 8 billion people, we have a great chance to unite and really make all these shifts and be more effective in using the world's resources and taking care of each other, out of, I just see a pop-up here from Leon McLaughlin with the Clean Water Foundation. Let's look at our water resources. So in terms of people being paid for it, I would say we are proposing that in the infrastructures, that those who are working hard in their, short life lived on Earth, that they are being good custodians of using resources well, that yes, that would be the proposal. But with the spirit of the game, we got a long ways to go to really make that a big thing that we are doing at Spirit of the Game, but we want to. That's part of why we're asking for people to donate and participate and so on and so forth. And yes, we are checking in to see how much people want to be personally accountable. Like right now, we have Mariana Waikiki here. We know that she's personally accountable for, underwater acts of kindness and, bringing us Leon from the Clean Water Foundation and making an impact that, not only we as adults are making these shifts, but we're passing these values to our children through books and apps. And, so yeah, so we at Spirit of the Game would be saying, hey, everybody out there, what about giving Mariana Waikiki more support, teaching our children, how all this stuff goes with the finger puppets, and, she's ready to teach our children to live their next 100 years to be better to our oceans and other waterways and to learn about what the Clean Water Foundation is about. Wow, what an impact Marianne of Waikiki or Mariana de Mexico is making on the world and our future. So you just came into a conversation, Marianne, about impact. Marianne, how would you further describe your zeal, appeal, and being a pioneer of impact in your way? Describe for everybody more the impact you're making through all your products.
Well, hola, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you're sounding good.
Awesome. Well, I just had an opportunity of a lifetime, a journey to sail from San Carlos, Mexico to Mazatlan, 400 nautical miles with Captain Jeff of Alaska, Pacific Star Seafood Regional Manager, and lady friend Cheryl. The three of us went last week, Thursday, and sailed to a village in Mexico of the Sea of Cortez or the Gulf of California. We stayed over there in the community there, and we sailed to Mazatlan and put the boat in a slip in a marina there, and we just traveled back this morning. We stayed over at a nice hacienda with a fireplace last night, and what a sailing journey it was. Again, for me to have that opportunity, not only as crew and chef, to show my culinary skills that I learned from my neighbor Tino here in Mexico. And seriously, we just got home. We just said our final aloha always until we meet again. Her name was Mary Arlene that we sailed on, beautiful sailboat. And yeah, it was amazing just to see the beauty of the water, to see the marine life. We saw whales very up close, breaching and blowing their blowholes. Also dolphins. We saw a sea turtle, and they caught 2 yellowfin tuna and a dorado on the way down. And actually, I got to be the narrator of my book called Underwater Acts of Kindness. So every night I got to read a chapter of the book for ocean cleanup, especially for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California. So yes, I'm Marianne of Waikiki. It's my sign language name, my book author name. I'm an author, Apple game developer, book series in development to co-promote with Leah McLaughlin with Clean Water Foundation to bring the books into animation movies with our other book, our newest book coming out that we're working on for climate change called Cool Acts of Kindness. I've been in communication with my co-writer Suzanne Sims, and we are updating our book Underwater Acts of Kindness and dedicating it to a man named Boynton Slat, a young man who created several machines to help clean up the gyres around the world, named Jenny. So we're doing some re-editing because, you know, it's been probably, I think, a decade ago since we started on the project. And again, yes, we do have products and services that we've created, and all classroom teachers in the United States of America can receive copies of the books from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. It's so easy. I had a friend in Hawaii, a special education teacher, who took 10 minutes, requested 50 books, Underwater Acts of Kindness, and she was funded in 2 weeks. The classroom read the book. I was able to go out and book sign, go out with the finger puppets, learn the finger spelling alphabet. And now we have app games to do that. So you read a chapter of the book, and then you would go visit Apple and play the game and test your skills of learning the finger spelling alphabet. So it's been a great journey here, and we are giving back to the world for ocean cleanup message, anti-bullying message, and we're working on the climate change book. So again, what a journey it was to sail with this amazing crew and be part of that and see the clean, beautiful waters, that we are making a difference, that each and one of us are making a difference by picking up plastics from the ocean, making sure we recycle, reuse. And it's been a great journey to be on your weekly podcast of World of Ability, and we're ending the year in great standards and looking forward to funding in the future with Leanne McLaughlin and his organizations that he's out fundraising for. I did view some Facebook pictures of him bringing filters, especially to the Navajo. Several of them, I think like 150 if I'm not mistaken. filters were fundraised, and now they are starting to receive them. What a Christmas blessing for this community to live normally with water, clean water, without arsenic, without things that should be, taking away from our lifespan and our health. And so he's doing amazing work, and he's also doing stuff with Dr. Emoto. And in Japan, he's got pictures with their groups there. He's got other pictures on his website and Facebook that he's posting of all the great work that he's done over this last year, especially fundraising in Seattle, to Beverly Hills, to, the Hopi Navajo. And I believe he was in Australia, if I wasn't mistaken. So we're doing things worldwide. And again, Kurt, Emily, and Sue, we couldn't have done it without you and having this opportunity to network and meet other people worldwide, as well as the Happy Neighborhood Project. So back to you.
All right, Mary Ann, thank you very much. What a great update, report, reflection, and for anybody who's being introduced to it all, it serves the introductory as well. So Barbara, we started this show back, July 26, 2020. And, you've been all here with us all along the way because our friend Helen introduced us. And, it was a handful of years ago that things came together for us. So you were there when I introduced you that Sue and I and Emily and others with Helen and others doing this World of Ability podcast. And so you followed how Mary Ann came into it all a couple of years ago. And, we've been enjoying this effort of years. And maybe a time or two, a moment in these years with tears, if I can try to be a little poetic here. But Barbara, what's your reflection in this in terms of what you know about Mary Ann? We're talking about impact, and you're trying to put it all together for yourself. So it's still a little clarification conversation, but why don't we build from, like I was talking about, Mary Ann's impact through her products, and then other things from your life, Barbara? How can we hear at the World of Ability and with the auspices of Spirit of the Game, Barbara, how can we help you make the impact that you're still trying to make for your legacy?
Oh, and I'm so impressed. I'm so grateful to Mary Ann and just being an inspiration to everybody. And you can see it on her face, that she's creating value in the world, and it shows, she kind of emanates that with her smile right now. What I keep thinking, what I'm seeing is what's happening to the children of Gaza. And where I'm coming from in my spiritual practice was coming from an orphan child in Japan, Tansaburo Makaguchi, who is saying, where are the grown-ups who see an orphan child, see what's happening to children and want to help? And that's so much what I would like to become part of, uniting with people to make that real, that the children that are in need right now, so much, there's so much pain and so much anger I'm seeing from these small children who've gone through this war. How can we come together as a world and give these kids the love that they need and the support that they need? That's what I would be so grateful to be more part of that. I know we met Daniel Bursch, who started the Environment Project International, where he's helping people create community where they can live off the grid and organic food and clean water. And he's been uniting people from Israel and Uganda and Australia and Hawaii. And what else can I do besides helping network people who are doing great things? I would love to hear guidance from you, Kurt. I see you and Sue, Emily, what you're all doing, how I can be more useful on this planet.
Yeah, Barbara, one thing I want to bring forward that has just been kind of left adrift aside is you brought something forward that Emily and I worked on with you for kind of a flash in the pan short period of time. And it's something about like from your
growing,
heart.
growing the global heart. It started with growing the American heart, growing the heart of the United States, but then went into growing the global heart and how we can connect more heart to heart. So we're caring about every child on this planet, should be protected and living in a healthy environment, knowing that they're loved and they're secure, how to help make that happen. And I really need to wake my life up and focus on one thing, continuing to network. When I was in college, Alawi Absood, who's King Faisal's nephew, was going to college at the University of Maryland, was my roommate. And we became really good friends. He came to my family's Passover. And he's the one who tried to give the $10 million to New York after 9/11, and they didn't accept his money. And I know, there's people out there. We just need to organize our plans more, our thoughts more, unite more. We can make so much happen if people start what I started with today, believing in their potential, their ability to make a difference, not saying, "Oh, I can't do it, I'm always late," or "I'm not smart enough," for all these things that we say, but getting past our own egos and what you're doing right here, reaching out to each other, dialoguing and encouraging each other. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I hope to see more people using the platform that you have created. That's what Steve Jobs said. He said we need to create stages where people can step onto and show their talent, that's important. And you definitely have been doing that. Thank you.
There you go. So, and I like your background message that the lotus is the only flower that teaches us where we reach is important, not where we come from. So when we think of the world, I think that's a great little phrase, quote, truth observation that when I was referencing Africa, and we can, do a roll call down the continents of Australia and, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, whatever, that I guess that's a little bit of what this crusade is all about. Because when I was in school, primary education, elementary school, whatever, we sat in those classrooms having teachers shape our minds to how the world works. And you learn about, how there's classes, upper class, middle class, lower class. There's, developed countries, first world countries, underdeveloped countries, third world countries. And, so in the 80s, I was brought into this mantra that the world naturally occurs with all this strata, and everybody's got their ranking, and you kind of respect the higher ups, and all this stuff. And so I feel for myself personally, I want to join with populations around the world, because it comes into the mission here at the World of Ability, that what Sue and I experienced with our close dear friends that we love, that they were a reflection of us. So what happened a decade ago is that the Roscoffs found out that dear friends that we love were a reflection of us, that we carried ourselves through people, close ones to us, that kind of pushed off opportunities for another person because of how things have always been.
Mm-hmm.
And Sue and our daughter and myself, we got together in this very house you know, I don't remember, I might have been sitting right here in this very seat at this table in our house, you know, and then my wife Sue and our daughter are sitting here. We're like, how did we feel about that? That our one friend did not get to ski because two of our other friends that don't know the friend that we wanted to ski thought that it was a bad idea for him to ski and never got in to catch up to the review he had, and made it very awkward at a ski show to say that, you know, he's not going to ski. And then Sue and I are like, what are you talking about, James? You know, come on here. And, you know, so we felt the power of segregation right within the thing that we love with the people that we love. And that's what we had to sort out. And so the world of ability is inspired from these intimate little quaint occurrences where we as people have the opportunity to let things slide and say, oh, that's too bad. That's unfortunate. Oh, whoops. Oh, shucks, that didn't work out.
Mhm.
Or, because again, the story that I told when I started this show was that, you know, the one friend said, well, if he skis, then everybody's got to ski. So that's what Sue and our daughter and I did. We created the Everybody Skis program. It's like, if that's the formula, that's what we do. So everybody skis. And so skiing is a discipline where we got to demolish the barrier, and we got to show our friends how if we get away from their power outside of their purview, being president and another board member of our club, and we went to other clubs, and we went to the Federation, we went to USA Water Ski and Wake Sports, and we got with the USA team that competes, you know, in 3 event to represent the USA and compete against Australia and Canada and Italy and, you know, other countries. And we were able to get with them and say, this is what happened on our local lake with our friends that we love. You know, kind of, what can we do to make it that people like our friends all around the world, our strangers, we want our strangers to be like Everybody Skis. And so if you're talking about flowers and gardening, you know, and things like this, botany, you know, everybody does botany, you know, everybody gardens, you know, and we're with Mutual Aid that has everywhere gardens, you know, so it's physically available in location and physically available by function in having raised flower beds and so forth. So that lotus, if somebody's taking care of that lotus flower, you know, somebody that's a wheelchair user can come up and it's right at that proper height that they can just extend their arms and take care of that lotus plant rather than having to drop to, you know, down to the ground. And then, you know, it becomes that laborious thing to, you know, find their way out of their wheelchair and get, you know, because that would be the other option, is to help people get down to the ground, and they're down on the ground, like giving that thing a hug and laying down there and doing it that way, you know, whatever it takes, you know, but you know, on many fronts, we can look at these things in terms of our faith experiences. You know, you've come in here and you've talked about Buddhism and stuff like that. You know, how is Buddhism available to 8 billion people? You know, I was talking about nonprofits, and the word volunteer came up. You know, Sue and I were taught from a local agency that is the agency that's partnered with our water ski club for 35 years. They taught us that, hey, Roscoff's people with disabilities want to volunteer too. It's just not you Roscoffs being so cool that, oh, you're 100% of the time helping people with disabilities. Sometimes people with disabilities want to help us. And that's what happened this last decade when we opened ourselves up to watch how they help us. And woo, that was a ride. And it's still a ride. It keeps getting better. The best is yet to come. So it's where we reach. It's where we reach. And we're here to reach. We're here with Mary Ann. We know that Leon is out there. He's within our reaches. He gave us a little text, you know, saying, this is awesome, you know. So yes, you're right. This is awesome. And everybody who knows me and my leadership style, that's what I require. You know, I was quoted in a networking group that I brought in the word ridiculous, and somebody responded to me kind of like taken back that I would assimilate the ridiculous. I'm like, are you kidding me? If it ain't ridiculous, I ain't doing it. And the guy was like so celebratory of like, really, like, wow, that's cool. I like that just happened. Like this dude Kurt Roskoff just said that. He's like, can I quote you? He's like, I'm going to put that on LinkedIn. Sure enough, he goes on his LinkedIn profile, he goes into his feed and he puts it in like, you've got a quote in your background. He put it in a quote by me. If it ain't ridiculous, I ain't doing it. You know, hyphen Kurt Roskoff. So that's a Kurt Roskoff quote. If it ain't ridiculous, I ain't doing it. So that's a sign that I don't care what it takes. We're going to reach this. So Barbara, yes, you inspired that right here. We're going to reach this. It doesn't matter where people come from.
And I hope did you get to see some of the videos of the gentleman who started Everybody Can Dance, and he's letting Toastmasters are trying to get me to stop saying "and" so much, so I hear it now. But yeah, that's a wonderful organization. This is people that have multiple sclerosis or, you know, whatever their problems are. People that are strong and are balanced and can dance are allowing these people that want to dance and need help to be lifted up and to be part of the dance with whatever they can do, if it's just their left foot. There was a movie that I always want to say so much, you know. There's a great movie, My Left Foot, somebody that was a part of his body he could control, and he ended up creating great art and really making a difference in the world. But this was so beautiful because there's all this affection, you know, people being close, people helping each other and creating a beautiful dance performance. And yeah, I don't know how to, like, you know, talk, you know, get him on the conversation of what we're talking about now, the spirit of the game, you know, how to unite people, how to unite the person that started the environmental projects international, other than maybe invite people to come next Saturday. I'm going to be in Tennessee, but when I come back, to make a point of finding these people again, reaching out to them and getting them to come on and share what it is that they've been creating or that they want to do. That would be so great. That's my vow to you all, that I'll make more of an effort to see that happen.
Excellent. So when you said Tennessee, I always think of the song by Arrested Development. So so with our live streaming vendors, you know, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, the copyrighted stuff, it's frowned upon to actually play it, but I wish we had the copyrights to play that right now, but we'll let everybody go to that on their own time. That's kind of my inspiration. So go to Tennessee by Arrested Development. That'll be our vibe that we are taking off with from this episode. So Sue, what I want to do now is we're in the 5 remaining minutes of this segment. So I want to pass it back to you and say, Sue, give me 5.
Awesome. This has been absolutely wonderful. As always, when I reflect back on this past year and all of the amazing people we've met, all of the amazing people who have joined us here and have shared of themselves, of what they do. Barbara, you are right in the middle of all of that. You've been so giving, and I can't say thank you enough. I see the beautiful flower in your background and the light, the way the light is like, it's coming from that. That's who you are. You are sharing of yourself, and it's beautiful, and we so appreciate you. And I can say the same with Marianne being such a faithful faithful friend here joining us and sharing with all the great adventures that she's doing and having, and what she's got coming, what she has already with her books and the puppets and all the things and all the great things that are coming up for this coming year. There are so many wonderful things to look forward to. We are in a great place with all that wonderful, all those pieces that are together and moving forward. I'm going to take that moment here again. I've gotten a little sentimental as the year wraps up and as I look forward to this coming year. Taking that moment to actually appreciate those around you really counts. It makes a difference. I know I got interrupted a moment here in the middle of this, but for somebody that was actually showing appreciation my way, which sometimes I think we forget what a difference we can make for other people and how easy it is to make a difference and make somebody feel appreciated, because I sincerely appreciate all that you guys do. And hey, Kurt, that goes for you too. I appreciate you. And if it wasn't for all the things you've done along the way, we wouldn't be here having this conversation right now. This is amazing to me that we are able to do this and to share this out and to hopefully make a difference for other people too, right? That's, World of Ability. That in itself brings so many things and so many possibilities. And I just am in awe of all that everybody has shared our way, has shared on this show, all the people that we've met along the way, and the stories, the people, all of it. It really is, it's meaningful. And I'm just taking that moment to really say, hey, thank you. And Kurt, I see you got a hand up. I'm going to pass it back to you.
Yeah, I always like to make sure before we lose all our time here that we have a minute to win it opportunity, by our guests. So I think we got to enter into that. So Marianne, I'm going to say you got a minute to win it, but if it's more than a minute, that's all right. I just want to let you, Marianne, have some final thoughts. Take it away.
Oh, thank you so much for us, World of Ability, for the amazing years. And everyone can go visit the Acts of Kindness series.com. We got Underwater Acts of Kindness on Audible, and all classroom teachers in the United States of America can receive copies of the books from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. It is whale watching season. I did get to see the whales down here in clean water in Mexico in the Sea of Cortez, or the Gulf of California, either way they call it here. And we got great things coming next year with Clean Water Foundation and Leanne McLaughlin. So again, I appreciate you and every one of you for letting me be part of this journey. And aloha oi until we meet again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marianne. So Barbara, we're going to pass that over to you as well for your chance for a minute to win it. Go ahead.
What I can share is my son, he sent me this movie that was made a long time ago called Lost in Yonkers, because he thought I would be able to relate. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but there's this girl and she's very ADD and she gets lost in daydreams and she's taking care of her mom. And in this movie, she gets to show like her love and her strength. And just share that with everybody. It's a powerful movie, Lost in Yonkers. So I'm sharing that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Barbara. And actually, Kurt, do you have a minute to win it? What's your last final parting word?
The word is collective. So the parting word is collective, because we're gonna keep echoing this idea of, like Leon says, working together works. And Brian Gibson, teamwork makes the dream work, and the acronym of team, together each achieves more. And so, yeah, the invitation is always out there. The welcome is always here at the World of Ability for everybody to join us. And we're hoping that everybody considers reacting to these videos and other content from the World of Ability we put out there, and to make comments. We're here to start a dialogue and let all of you out there move your narrative forward. Back to you, Sue.
Excellent. Again, special thanks to all of you, Barbara, Marianne, Kurt. Thank you guys so much for making this what it is, the World of Ability. And I'm here to sign off. We will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. And as always, we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. I want to do this again.